It has been quite some time since I've done an Operation Protect the White Boy, and this one right here is the perfect candidate for it. So in this picture you see an individual by the name of Jesse Butler. He's 18 years old, out of Oklahoma, and he's avoiding prison time despite the amounting violation convictions that he has. Let's get into it. Despite being sentenced to nearly 80 years in prison after admitting to a string of sex crimes against teenage girls, an Oklahoma 18-year-old avoided time behind bars, triggering outrage in the college town of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Jesse Mack Butler, age 18, from Stillwater, about an hour north of Oklahoma City, escaped prison time after pleading no contest to multiple violation and assault charges. In March, when Butler was 17, he was charged as an adult with 10 felony counts related to sex crimes against 2 girls, both fellow students at Stillwater High School. One of the girls was choked unconscious and almost died, according to her doctor. Butler's charges included 2 attempted violations, 3 charges of violation by instrumentation, 1 count of sexual battery, 1 count of forcible oral sodomy, 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation, and 1 count of domestic assault and battery. Butler pleaded not guilty to all charges, and the district attorney's office struck a deal with Butler's lawyers to change his status from adult to youthful offender. The victims' families begged the DA not to do that, but in July, a judge signed off on the accord. In August, Butler changed his plea from not guilty to no contest. He was ultimately sentenced to 78 years in prison, but as a quote-unquote youthful offender, he was also entitled to a rehabilitation plan drawn up by the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs and presented to the court last week, meaning he can avoid prison. The plan calls for daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of community service. It will stay in effect until Butler turns 19, less than a year from now. If Butler complies with his court-ordered rehab for a year and doesn't break any more laws, his record will be wiped clean, meaning an avoidance of prison or an appearance on any sex offender registry. A police affidavit says a girl identified only as LS dated Butler for about 3 months starting in January 2024 when she was 16. During that time, the victim said Butler repeatedly violated and attempted to violate her and would strangle her if she refused. The teenage girl needed surgery to repair the damage done to her neck by the strangulation, and her doctor says she would have died had the strangulation lasted another 30 seconds. The girl alleges she gave in to Butler because he threatened to kill her and her family if she didn't. A separate affidavit says that in March of 2024, Butler dated another 16-year-old identified only as KS for 6 months. This teenager alleged that Butler was aggressive and violent with her and says she went along with unwanted sex to avoid being hurt. The victim also said that one time, when she refused, Butler strangled her and recorded himself strangling her until she passed out. Police later found that video on Butler's phone. In the same month, another count was added against Butler, taking the tally to 11 following a violation of a protective order. Now, you've heard all of what I just read. This dude might be candidate for Operation Protect the White Boy Story of the Year. I mean, let's just summarize and run down everything. It's bad enough he already is avoiding time behind bars for what he did. But then when you go into the details at the end of what he did to not one but 2 of these girls, I mean, the one thing is that the violation of them is bad, but he almost killed both of them by strangulation. One of them he recorded for his own pleasure and kept in his phone, probably to look at and probably get a kick out of it. That's number 1 and 2. Then when you look at all the stuff that he had against him, they say he faced 80 years behind bars and he got no time, none of it. And then all he has to do is basically probation for about, they said, less than a year until he turns 19. Then once that's complete, and all he has to do is basically not violate any of the terms of what is been ordered to him by the court. And once that happens, he will have a clean record, as if nothing happen, as if he did not do any of what he was already about to face, charge wise. Even down to he won't even have to be registered as a sex offender. Wow. And I'm willing to guarantee that he did this against 2 white girls in Oklahoma, and it says Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'm almost certain of it. So the usual suspects, I need to know from y'all. Are y'all going to speak on this, or is this going to be another one of those things that's just swept under the rug so you can go ahead and start going back about black people in Chicago or any other urban metropolitan area? Because this is crazy. And by the way, now you see again why under violations under the FBI crime stats list, why y'all still reign supreme in that category, especially when it comes to that of white men. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. And let's not forget about all the stuff that's been coming out lately about a lot of these individuals, a lot of these white men that's attached to MAGA or certain fans of a certain individual that have come out recently. I mean, it's like every day I look up, it's a new one. It's like so much has been exposed. And like I said, this is a story right here that's probably not going to go anywhere outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma, as far as getting national attention. If it wasn't for certain pages on Twitter that I follow, I wouldn't know some of these stories even existed, or better yet, if it wasn't for Tawana in Discord, a lot of these stories I wouldn't know about, because it's one of the things that you don't think to go look up. Just because, like, because no one wants to look something. Not saying that you don't know it exists, that you don't know that it doesn't exist. It's that why would you want to search that? And then when you find it, then it's like you're not surprised, but you're also disgusted at the same time, because why is someone like this still? You know what it is? He's 18. They want to protect his future. That's what it is. This reminds me of, you know, that Judge Aaron Persky and what he did for that clown out there around the same age as him. And they want to protect his future. They want to go on and make sure he has a great and bright future. F him and his future. He blew his future away when he decided he was going to violate 2 teen girls and strangle both of them, record one of them, and almost kill another one. And y'all felt that this dude did not deserve not 1 year behind bars for doing any of that. And then you expunge his record when he turns 19 if he follows the ramifications of his probation or whatever that is, and he doesn't have to register as a sex offender. That's the biggest insult to me. One of them anyway. Then you got to think about, what is this going to do for the mindset of the girls, or the, you know, the young ladies that he did this to? Like, they didn't get no justice. Like, I'm sure they are physically and mentally scarred by what he did. And then once he turns 19, he's basically a free bird. He can go back out into the world and do whatever he wants. You mean to tell me you don't think he's not going to do this again? This dude probably would have had more victims if he didn't get caught. There's no rehabilitating this. It isn't. I would not be surprised if sometime in the future we learn of him in the news and he actually does go the distance and actually does take someone out. If that does occur, they're going to wish they kept him locked up. And at which point, and I hope that doesn't happen, but if it does get to that point, at which point the whole court system out there needs to be sued. And people need to be removed from their positions, because it could have been avoided. I keep saying this all the time, and usually that typically is what's going to end up happening, because he feels invincible. He feels like he can't be touched. He feels like no one's going to be able to do nothing to him, because he feels like he got away, and technically not even feel like he did get away with what he did. And this is stories like this, which is why I have the Operation Protect the White Boy or White Woman playlist. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.